Hey friends, it's Alora, and I just decided that I wanted to do a reading vlog for this week. So I'm starting on Monday, and this is September 3rd, and I'll be going through the following Sunday with this vlog. I'm going to try to keep it pretty brief and succinct, but I want to kind of take you with me on what I'm doing. So sorry about the weird lighting here, let's just go ahead and see what I'm planning on reading. So today I went to Pals and I picked up Sea of Strangers by Lang Liev. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I've never read any of her poetry before. This is called poetry and prose, but I would say that it's basically poetry. I don't always read poetry, but sometimes I'm just really in the mood. Poetry helps me feel inspired and usually makes me want to write. So that's why I picked this up. I love the cover. I think that it's simple and beautiful. I love the colors. These are my favorite colors. And kind of matches my dress also, so that's fun. Yeah, anyway, so I sat down at the Pals Cafe today with a nice oat milk mocha, and I read through this entire book. So that's anyway, so that was 209 pages, which it doesn't really count as 209 pages because there are only words on every other page, and some of the pages only have 2 sentences on them because it's poetry. So I would give this book a 4.5 stars. It was along the lines of Rupi Kaur's Milk and Honey, or The Princess Saves Herself in this one. I don't remember the author's name for that. I'll pop it up on the screen. But it felt like one of those feminist, empowering works where it was sensitivity as strength and talking about love and being a woman and, you know, things like that, sappy things, and I like that. So I really enjoyed this one. Let me show you what else I've been reading lately. So over here we have City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is an Egyptian mythology, or an Egyptian mythology inspired read, and I'm on page 70. So that's where we're starting today, page 70. I think that I read probably 10 pages this morning, maybe 15. Not very many. I haven't been doing very well, but I'm hoping to get through this whole entire book this week. What else do I want to get through? I have this book that I just recently was given at my work teacher in-service. The author actually came to speak, and she was really energetic and engaging. So I think I'm going to read her book. I don't think it will take me all that long to get through it because it's only... I always hate, like, I don't want to see the last page because I don't want to know how it ends, but 259 pages? 259 pages, but as you can see, it's kind of like written in an interesting format, and so I don't think it will take me very long to get through. So that's also on the docket. In addition, I am currently listening to Sleeping Giants on audiobook. I have about 2 hours left of that, so I'll probably finish that tomorrow or the next day, and then I really haven't decided what I want to listen to on audiobook next. I have a couple of thoughts. So I was thinking about re-listening to Outlander because I really want to continue on with that series, and I just don't really remember what happened. It's been too long since I read that by Diana Gabaldon. Or I could read The Signature of All Things by Elizabeth Gilbert. I have that one on audiobook, and I just never really got into it. I tried starting it a couple of times, never really got that far, but maybe I'll just push through. Now that I have had my win with 1Q84, the 46-hour-long audiobook, I feel like I can conquer any audiobook, so maybe I'll give that one a shot again. My other thoughts are just buying another credit on Audible and getting Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I really enjoyed Caraval last year, and so since that book came out, I've been eyeing it and been like, I really just want to use my credit for that, so I might do that. Okay, I'm going to go to dinner now. We're gonna go to this wonderful little Mexican restaurant that's right by our apartment. It's our favorite, and I'm really excited, so I've gotta go. But I will check in with you soon. Good morning, it's Tuesday, it's about 7:30 a.m. I've had 2.5 hours of sleep, and yes, I'm wearing the same outfit. That's okay sometimes, you know, the clothes are still clean and you're going to a different place and it's easy and you've had 2.5 hours of sleep. Anyway, I have about half an hour before I have to go to work because I'm starting a little bit later today than usual, and so I'm going to eat breakfast and try to get through a few pages of City of Brass. But I also wanted to let you know that I always take a book with me to work because I usually have a bit of time in the middle of the day to read, and right now I've been reading Grasshopper Jungle. Look at that offensive cover It's so green, and the pages are yellow. It's just, it hurts my eyes, but it's a book by Andrew Smith. It's kind of like YA surrealism, told from a male perspective. It's very, I think it would appeal to boys. That's what I have to say about it so far, but I will keep you updated when I actually read some pages. Well, my update is that I have no update despite my best efforts. I didn't really read very much today, so check in with you later. Hey, I'm super pooped from 2 long days at work, but I'm home and I'm about to go to bed. I just wanted to quickly update you on my reading. So today I managed to read the entirety of this book, which is called Oh Shift, and it's basically a book about changing your perspective on things and being more positive. And I didn't really like it. So anyway, that was, how many pages was that? 258, but they're kind of like this where there's lots of white space, so it doesn't really count. I read about 20 pages of City of Brass. I wanted to say City of Embers. Obviously, that's not what I'm reading. City of Brass. And I also listened to about an hour of audiobook. I'm almost finished with Sleeping Giants. I have about 30 minutes left of audiobook, so I'll probably finish that up tomorrow, but I just wanted to do a quick little pop in. I'm still alive even though I'm exhausted and my hair's wet and that it's 9 o'clock and I'm going to bed. Oh, what is life? Being an adult is weird, man. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Hey, so I'm 128 pages into City of Brass. It's Friday night. I finished reading Sleeping Giants. I don't remember if I updated you on that. I would give it like a 3.5 stars maybe. It's a science fiction book that's told in basically memos or interviews with different people that are characters in the book, and I didn't really love it. It kept my interest enough, but I didn't feel engaged, if you know what I mean. So I started listening to Strange the Dreamer on audiobook. I have already read it, but I really need a refresher before Muse of Nightmares comes out in October, so I'm listening to it on audiobook. So I'm 128 into City of Brass. I was really hoping to finish this book this weekend, but it's like almost 500 pages long, so I'm not really sure if that's going to happen. Yeah, so it's Friday night. I'm pretty tired, but I don't feel too terrible. I've gotten enough sleep the last few nights, so I feel like tomorrow I should be able to get through a significant chunk of this book. Okay, so this is kind of an awkward angle. This is a super awkward angle. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go now. Good morning. It's Saturday at about 9:30. I've been blasting through a bunch of City of Brass. Actually, blasting through isn't the right word or phrase to use because it's pretty slow going, but I'm at page 150 right now, and I have about an hour before I have to go to my cycling class, so I think I'm just gonna sit here and read. Why not? Saturday morning, I have nothing else pressing or urgent that needs done, so I'll keep you updated with today's reading. So yesterday, another super quick update here, I caved. I was weak. I'm weak when it comes to books. I'm strong, and I don't buy them, and then I buy like 5 at once. And so let me just let you know which books I ordered. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I'll probably be doing a little mini book haul, but I think that I'll just let you know in advance so that you have the inside scoop because you care. Okay, so I bought Sad Girls by Langley Ave because I recently read Sea of Strangers by her, which is a poetry and prose collection, and I loved it. I think this one's her novel though, so I'm looking forward to seeing how I like that. I bought City of Ghosts because even though the premise really doesn't interest me, I'm not into ghost stories whatsoever. I absolutely adore Victoria Schwab, and I felt kind of bad after watching her Instagram story about the New York Times bestseller list and how many copies have to be sold and pre-orders, etc., etc. So I just decided to pick that up this week, even though I'm not sure if I'm really gonna read it in the near future. I know that's kind of silly logic, but also I just really want to support her as an author and as an incredible human being. So I purchased that. And then I also bought Two Dark Reigns, which I had forgotten came out on September 4th. Oops, I missed the release date. I had it on my radar to pre-order and then I just never did. So that's the 3rd book in Kendara Blake's Three Dark Crowns series. And then I also pre-ordered Imposters by Scott Westerfeld because that's coming out on Tuesday. Where has the time gone? I feel like when I learned about that, it seemed like the release was super far away, but here it is. So that's a spin-off of the Ugly series, which is one of my OG series that I absolutely adored from childhood. So I'm really looking forward to that. And the last book that I bought was The Poppy War, which I just heard a lot about recently and decided I really wanted to read. So it's urgent. I needed to read it right now, obviously, because I can't wait. It's not as though I have all of those books that I need to read or anything. Anyway. Oh, my other dilemma is, do I read right now or do I watch YouTube videos about other people reading? That's my vice. I spend probably more time watching booktuber videos than actually legitimately reading. Maybe not. Maybe about the same amount of time. It's probably 50-50. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go do this. So, for those of you who don't know, I used to be a die-hard indoor cyclist. I went probably about 5 or maybe 6 days a week, and I got in really good shape, and I loved it, and I felt so good, and I felt strong and badass. And then I really fell out of it, and especially when I moved to Portland. I mean, it happened before that, but then once I moved here, it just wasn't convenient. There is a cycling studio, but it's way more expensive, and I just didn't have that sense of community that I had previously established with my other cycling studio. So I know this is not book related, but I'm just trying to share a little bit of my life with you. So I decided, in the interest of getting back into really good shape, to get a membership to this more expensive cycling house. And yeah, I'm on week 1. I've gone 5 days out of 6, so this will be 6 days out of 7 when I go right now. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm thinking I might wear my hat to keep my bangs from getting completely trash. 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna put on Strange the Dreamer and do some gisting, which, in the words of Kaylin Nicholson, is getting your shit together. Let's go. Hey guys, it is Monday afternoon and I wanted to wrap up the reading blog. So I started out by reading Sea of Strangers by Lang Liev last Monday. I read the entirety of that poetry and prose collection, and I gave it a 4.5 stars at the time, but now that I've sat with it for a little bit, I would lower that to a 4, just because the poems haven't really stuck with me as much as other poetry collections have. And then I finished listening to Sleeping Giants on audiobook, and I gave that a 3.5 stars. That was interesting, but it wasn't engaging enough to really draw me in. I'm not planning on continuing with the series. And then after that, I continued reading Grasshopper Jungle. I made it about halfway through that book. I'm not enjoying it whatsoever. If I was giving it a star rating out of just pure enjoyment, I would give it a 2 or maybe even a 1. Creativity-wise, 4 at least. It's really interesting. I'm not saying that you wouldn't like it. I'm just saying it's not for me. It's surrealist and it's a lot. It's a bit much. It feels gratuitous. But anyway, I'm going to continue reading that regardless. I almost DNF'd it, but then I'm like, no, Alora, you've just got to push through, so I'm going to push through with that one. I've continued to read City of Brass. I got through about 240 pages of that. Well, I started off at page 70, so what is that, 170? I read 170 pages of that this week, which isn't very much. I'm enjoying it. I'm not loving it. It's taking me a long time to get through. The setting is really interesting, and the Egyptian mythology aspect is really fascinating. But I'm not in love with any of the characters. I don't really care about them all that much. And there's just so much verbiage that I'm unaccustomed to that it's taking me a long time to wade my way through it. It just feels really dense. It feels like a good setup novel for maybe a series. And I know it will be a series, so maybe it's just this first book that's not doing it for me. Also, I have I started listening to Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor on audiobook. I read the book in physical format last year when it came out, so I already know the story, but the thing is that I really want to remember the story so that when Muse of Nightmares comes out in October, I can just pick up right away, you know, without feeling like I've forgotten a bunch of facts. So I'm listening to it on audiobook. I got through about 3 hours by Sunday night, and I'm really enjoying it. Laini Taylor is so fabulous. She just spins words like Rumpelstiltskin spins gold or something like that. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. If you haven't read her works, I would definitely recommend them. I might start with Daughter of Smoke and Bone if I were you. But I've read everything that she's written except for Lips Touch 3 Times, which I keep holding out on that one because I really want to get the UK edition, and I've had it in my book depository cart for a while and I just haven't bought it, but I'm sure I'll cave and be weak at some point and purchase it, along with $100 of other UK editions that are gorgeous. So anyway, I think that's it. Is that it? No, I read Oh Shift. Oh, God, I forgot about that. I gave that one like a 3 stars. I didn't enjoy Oh Shift. It didn't capture my attention. I'm sure there's a lot of valuable information in there that other people might glean. I don't know if it's just because I've heard a lot of this information before and I didn't like her writing style or what it was, but it just wasn't for me. Anyway, I feel like I did a pretty good job this week. I read a lot, I listened to a lot on audiobook, and I'm feeling pretty proud. So I'm going to make these weekly reading vlogs a thing. So I'm about to go film the intro for Monday for this upcoming week, and I hope that you'll give that one a watch too. I've had such a fun time chatting with you, and I'll try to spice up next week. I know that I'm going to go to Powell's today, so that'll be fun. That'll be in next week's reading vlog, and I'm also going to a concert this week, and it'll just be a little bit more of an interesting week and less of an exhausting week. So, alright, thank you guys for sticking with me. I love you so much. Bye.